welcome to this version of the EdibleSpirit New Moon live broadcast. Isn't that exciting? Let's see, how are we going to do this? Oh, we don't need this, bitch. Cute. Okay, close you. Okay, so cute. Hi, everyone. We've got so many exciting things planned for this evening, including, let's see, oh wait, you can see I've lit candles. Got that Palo Santo going on. Okay, so this is the new moon live broadcast. We are freshly into a new moon in Aries as of 9:57 p.m. That's New York time, or 7:57 p.m. or no, 6:57 p.m. LA time. We are here also because Mercury Retrograde is fucking over. It's fucking over. Does it feel as good to you as it does to me? It feels fucking great to me. But I've had all sorts of crazy, stupid, annoying shit going on today, like missed connections, everything's a little late still, computers on the fritz. I have this healing fair that's coming up on 4/21 and on Saturday the 21st. And the flyer that I designed for the healing fair, which took me like 2 hours the other day to do, is actually like 11 millimeters by 17 millimeters as opposed to 11 inches by 17 inches. So wonderful Mercury snafu. You know, the conventional wisdom is all of the rewords, renegotiate, revisit, review, all of that stuff. But also be prepared with a backup plan, with an alternative, with something else. Let's see how we can do this, because I want to do this a little bit more effectively. Yeah, does that work? Does that work for everyone? I think that works. Can you guys hear me on Instagram? Just let me know. And then let's just make sure I have you up here on this business as well. Okay, cool. So basically what we're going to do today, thank you guys. So we're just going to talk about what to do with this moment now that it's here, now that it's moving. We're also going to pull a few cards for you regarding just for the elements, regarding what's going to come up over the next couple weeks or so as we move from new moon into full moon land. And mostly also just wanted to review some of what's happening in the air and the sun and the sea and the sky right now. Mercury station direct early this morning, 2:21 in Los Angeles, 5:21 in New York. And that also happened in Aries, which is dope because it's like Mercury was, when we think Aries, right, the statement of Aries is I am, right? I am. I'm here. I'm queer. Get used to it. Whatever you are, that's Aries. So Mercury retrograde in Aries is undoing, making us review, reimagine, re-examine all of exactly who we are. Who am I? What am I? What am I doing here? What's going on with this? And it's cool because Mercury retrograde ends, starts going direct. Mercury goes direct, and all of this information comes out about who you are. So I asked my girl Harriet, I think she's watching right now, last week when she was reading cards at Employees Only in LA and looking gorgeous. I asked her to pull a card for what happens when Mercury retrograde is over, and it was the Tower. And this is great about Mercury retrograde anyway. It's like a big popping off of energy, and especially understanding. And it's like whatever was tied up and bundled in a knot over the last 3 weeks while Mercury was retrograde, now it sort of slingshots, boomerangs, flies out. And in this case of right now, in the case of Mercury retrograde in Aries, stationing direct in Aries, it's like information about who you are that you've been learning, whether you fucking want to or not, for the last however long, whatever you've been learning, now it like now it becomes clear, right? It becomes clear, and it's about you, and it's about expressing you. And then the really cool thing is that the new moon is also in Aries. New moon is when the sun and the moon are conjunct in the same sign, right? And the sun and the moon line up together, and we get this kind of beautiful reset moment where we don't see the moon in the sky. There's nothing being reflected. Insides and outsides get this kind of moment to pause and restart, also in Aries. So take this information. Long story short, take this information about whatever you've learned about yourself from the last 3 weeks, whether you like it or not, whatever contracts, whatever agreements, whatever relationships with yourself, with others have been up for renegotiation or review. Take whatever you've learned and start a new pattern, right? Use this truth to kind of gun yourself into the next, well, at least 3 weeks, you know, as Mercury goes over the ground that it just covered in the retrograde. But why not forever, right? Why not resolve to just be new based on what you've learned, right, over the last 3 weeks? It's exciting. But also, wait, there was one thing about Uranus, right, which is that it's conjunct the new moon right now as well. So all of those 3 things are in the sky. New moon, moon, sun, and Uranus are very, very close. They're snuggling together. And Uranus is the planet that's also associated with the Tower card. Explosive, revolutionary, interesting, profound, amazing, incredible, change, transformation, even catastrophe sometimes, crisis. So all of this to say is whatever was bundled up over the last 3 weeks, whatever you've been learning intellectually, whatever you've been processing mentally, whether you want to or not, now it's reached this point of tension over the last 3 days, slingshots hardcore over the next 3 days, and then continues to work itself out for the next sort of 3 weeks. But because of the presence of Uranus and because of the presence of the new moon, it's really fucking explosive. And the new moon means that we get a moment to sort of pause right now in this silence. Ooh, yes, pause in this silence and welcome, welcome new patterns that support and encourage revolutionary, that's Uranus, revolutionary self-expression, right? Self-expression. And if your self-expression is not revolutionary, who needs that, right? So revolutionary self-expression. So English translation, what that means is that if you've been chewing on something, ew, I hate this light, hold on. Is that okay? Is that too dark? Is that mysterious and lovely? Yes, this is the mood now. If you've been chewing on something and you haven't been able to sort of figure out how to process it or how to make it work or whatever's been frustrating you, whatever message seems like it's trying to be gotten across to you that's been frustrating you as you try to learn it, run with it now. Go with it now. Be bold about it now. Be revolutionary about it now. Whatever you've been struggling with, whatever you've been working with over the last 3 weeks, go, fight, win, right? Blow up, blow, son. You know, do your thing. Yeah. So why don't we pause for a moment right now in silence. Take a deep breath in your nose. Blow it out your mouth. And in this silence, in this rippling vibration from the new moon, affirm, I welcome new patterns that support and encourage revolutionary self-expression. I welcome new patterns that support and encourage revolutionary self-expression. I welcome new patterns that support and encourage revolutionary self-expression. So, excuse me. So that's our vibe. That's this new moon vibe, this new moon moment. The next sort of interesting thing that's happening for us is April 19th at 11 o'clock, 11:12, right, a moment after 11:11, the sun enters Taurus, and the vibe shifts again, and we move away from Aries season, fire season, into Earth season. A good girl, EK from That's a Retrograde, was watching a minute ago. I don't know if she's still there, but she's my Taurus sis. I love her Taurian vibes. And I have strong connections to Oshun and Venus and luxury, right? Taurus is luxury, creature comforts, deliciousness, grounded, sensual, Venutian, just like flow, like swerve moments. And what's cool is that that's coming really soon on the 19th. This shift from this explosive energy and all these fucking lessons learned during Mercury retrograde and all this stuff slingshotting out of us and revolutionary self-expression. So much momentum behind us. And in a way, it's like if our rocket ship were to be going like this, Taurus would be a weight on it that just keeps it ever so slightly more earthbound, right? We're talking physics here, right? Ever so slightly more earthbound. Spring gets really sprung, right? All the creatures start mating because it's nice and warm. So that's our Taurian moment, right, that we're heading into now. And why is this important? Because somewhere down the line in May, Uranus also enters Taurus. So we then start to experience revolution, right? When a planet like Uranus changes signs, it's a big deal because it spends, I think, like 7 years in each sign-ish. No, less than that. I can't remember how many years, but it spends a long time. It's a slow-moving planet as it goes around. So when a big, slow-moving planet, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, changes signs, it's a big fucking deal. It takes all the energy from the sign that it just moves through and brings it into the next sign, and initiates a new period. So all of this revolutionary self-expression energy becomes revolution and change, literally in Earth, on Earth, in our homes, in our hearts, in our lives, in our guts, in our bedrooms, right? So it's just a little bit of a forecast down the line that once we move into Taurus season, Uranus comes behind and using that tower energy, right? That popping off explosive revolutionary energy, which is also like Aries, but in this case is Uranus. It changes things, literally things. It changes matters. Everything changes. All of these matters change. Okay, so that's exciting as well. So just trying to take this moment to let these patterns of explosive self-expression, these patterns of new revelations of identity. Holy shit, this is who I am, right? Oh my God, this is why I'm here. Oh my God, this is who I am. This is who I am. This is who I am. It's almost like, whoa, now everything is changing. That's sort of the Taurus vibe, and everything is changing in like an earthy, sensuous, grounded, intense, and beautiful, wonderful way. It's just a very distinct and different energy. So it's nice for us to be able to carry and set this intention to welcome new patterns that support and encourage revolutionary self-expression, to sort of let that be the established pattern as at the start of the spring to carry us through the whole season, so that as things change around us, we sort of stay on this wonderful trajectory of self-expression. Okay, that's enough blah, blah, blah for me. Do you guys have any questions? Those of you that are hanging out, is there anything that I've said that you're totally vibing with? Anything I've said that you're like, I don't know what you're talking about? Anything you want to ask me? I'm going to jump into card readings in just a moment. Oh my God, thank you guys for tuning in. This means the fucking world to me that I get to run back from dinner because dinner took forever because the sushi was late and the ramen was cold and blah, 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 in order to be here with you. I have my whole deck pulled and ready for you. Ooh, but I guess that means we're going to use a different deck. Yo no sé mañana. Ooh, fun. I wasn't expecting this. Okay. Vibing. Okay. Hi, Ale. Hi, Alex. Okay. So what we're going to do here is using our traditional Edible Spirit vibes. Elements of Spirit were posted today, right? They're up on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/EdibleSpirit. Those are the weekly readings that we give you every week through the elements of ether, air, fire, water, and earth. And we're going to use that same structure to pull a card for each of you to sort of, what's the intention behind it today? How best to work with this new moon cycle, right? Does that sound good? How best to work with this new moon cycle? You like that? Thumbs up, someone, anyone? How best to work with this new moon cycle? Yeah, we like that. Okay. We're going to start with the ether, and that'll be sort of like our general sense of all of us. I'm using, this is the Kamawan Jodorowsky Tarot, which was basically recreated with Alejandro Jodorowsky and one of the bros from the original printing family that started producing Marseille decks way back in the day. They're so groovy. They're just so beautiful. So this is what we're using for today. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. So the ether is for everyone, and then I'll explain to you which element is yours based on your sun signs. So how best to work with the energy of this new moon cycle. King of Swords. Very cool. So it's very intellectual, right? Swords are based on the mind, and it's really saying, think about what you've learned, right? And embody that fully and use it wisely. It's totally confirming what we just said, basically. It's like, take all of the struggles, right? Think back and just think of one thing from the last, a couple weeks. We're not even talking about the Mercury retrograde. We're talking about since our last full moon. Think about a hard lesson you've learned, or a big lesson you've learned. It doesn't necessarily have to be challenging. Think about a big lesson you've learned about things, about yourself, right? The sword here today is red. His sword is red, which is associated with the colors of humanity, with the material plane, right? But also in this case, I'm reading it as Aries, right? So what have we learned during Aries season? Because it's really almost over, right? We just have a few more days. Basically, by the time the initial blast of retrograde energy is out, expressed over the next 3 days, we're dipping into a new period. We're dipping into Taurus. So it's almost like we get to take these last 3 days of this wonderful ride of self-expression, which has been sort of interrupted by Mercury retrograde. We have to keep stopping and thinking about our trajectory and how are we doing and where are we going and how quickly are we getting there, and question everything. Now that energy shifts and we get to sort of look forward. I don't know if this is reduced. I mean, it's reversing it the way that it's showing, but this king is looking to the future. He's looking over his shoulder, but he's looking to the future, and holding the lessons that he's learned about himself in his other hand, right? That he's learned about himself in the past. And the thing is that like we've got to use this to carry us forward, but we don't really want to dwell on it. We want to kind of learn these lessons, process these lessons, and then start acting. How are you going to act? That's what we're going to talk about next. What is the best way to sort of harness and work with this new moon energy for the individual signs? So the first sign we'll do is the elements of air, which includes the signs of Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. Which one is yours? This one is yours. Let's work with these energies. Dope. 5 of Wands. Okay. So this is saying, go for it, right? Run, guns blazing. You may end up learning what you've learned based on the conflicts that you encounter, based on the things that go wrong, right? It's like, this implies that over the next couple of weeks, every time you have a new conflict or a new kind of confrontation or a new clash, right? A new change in your life, that it's actually an opportunity. It's not a problem. It's an opportunity for you to work with what you've learned from this last Aries cycle. We like that, right? That's cute. It also implies that you want to keep an awareness. I think I showed this to you, but that's the 5 of Wands. You want to keep an awareness of what you've learned kind of at your center. So really, again, like, take this energy of the retrograde and what comes to light over the next 3 days. I think I've been saying this to you guys for a little while if you've been tuning into these various things, but Mercury retrograde ending, Mercury stationing direct, tends to have a lot of information that comes out that was caught up before. I think this is going to happen in the country. I think this is going to happen involving, all the shit that's going on overseas, all of the violence, all like Russian investigations, Comey, Trump, like blah 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 blah. I really feel like there's going to be some insane, intense, powerful information coming out, and probably a lot of equally powerful disinformation coming out. So what do you have to rely on? Very fucking little, y'all, ultimately, right? But what you have to rely on are the lessons that you've learned from this annoying retrograde cycle. And these are not just like thoughts. These are lessons about who you are, why you're here, very core existential Aries I am based lessons. So take those things and let them be your backbone. That's that central staff. Let them be your backbone. So while these other four wands kind of go haywire, vibrating and rotating all around you, no matter what conflict is happening around you, no matter what seems to be, breaking down or flaring up, it's like all of this is just another opportunity for you to use what you've learned from this recent past, and to ultimately, the King of Swords says to master that information. And how do you master stuff? Well, in this case, you put it to use. And you guys don't even have to put it to use with like super cool, efficient work. You put it to use by like getting the fuck into it, by like getting into conflicts, getting into confrontations, and really going to bat and working stuff out. Okay, that's your air element reading, right? Air element using that fire. So now we're going to talk about an air, right? Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. So now we're going to go into fire. Okay, fire. You're welcome. Okay, fire. How best to work with this new moon frequency? A couple weeks. Okay. It's very sweet. It's the Two of Cups. So the best way for you to work with this, sorry about that. The best way for you guys to work with this information that's been turned up, this information about yourself in the recent past, is to actually share it sweetly, peacefully, lovingly, to share it between you and your beloved. And specifically in the Two of Cups, it's just the one beloved. It implies relationships. It implies exchange, right? Emotional flow. It says like you want to put this knowledge to use, not by going to bat and having big ass conflicts, but actually by sort of sharing and sharing alike. Take what you've learned and share it with someone. Take what you've learned and, go for coffee and talk about it, right? Or, I don't know why I'm saying this, but if someone who's a fire sign, fire being Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. I know someone here is a fire sign. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. This is water. The Two of Cups is based on water. So this is actually saying like, easy, tiger. If you're dating, right? If you're going out, if you're experiencing relationships, the idea here would be, don't go balls to the wall, super hard and fast. Keep it light, keep it sweet, and sort of share. Hi, you. Hi, Leo. So sort of share what you've learned about yourself in a lighthearted, loving, sweet way with a close confidant or an intimate friend or someone you trust over coffee, or dare I say vino, right? I guess ayahuasca too, if that's your thing. But don't have to be. What is this thing? And I guess in a way, oh yes, okay. So my attention is being drawn to these creatures down here. Oh, hey there. These angels, right, and the phoenix rising from the ashes here, all fire related. And this is just saying to me that you guys, like, slow your roll a little bit. You don't need to go so hard, as opposed to the air, which was like, go for it, like get the fuck into it. You guys want to actually trust that if you play it a little bit cooler and you don't push yourself so hard and you try to keep things sort of sweet and nice and exchangey and flowy, that there's a lot of stuff going on underneath the surface. And you may be intensely reborn at a later date, aka intensely reborn Phoenix at a later date, aka the 19th when the sun goes into Taurus, because there are beautiful, wonderful divine forces within you and around you that are helping this transformation to occur in a way that's like not annoying and uncomfortable. Okay, so you got to help out with that. You got to help keep it sweet. And the idea here is like, you may be fucking hungry. You may be thirsty. You may be rearing your head with power and drive and you know, intensity. But now I just saw these little creatures for the first time. I can't even remember what they are. They look like almost like mythical creatures, like dragons or something. And I'm seeing this as a sort of sexual expression as well. So like, if you are trying to get into it, if you are trying to get laid, if you are trying to like get married or make babies or something, don't be like aggro about it. Let yourself be chill about it, be cool about it, be sweet about it, be flowy about it. And it's the ideal way to work with this new lunar cycle. And that was the intention. So that was for the signs, the fire signs, the Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Now we're gonna go to the watery children, going to those watery children. The only bummer about this dark lighting in here, it's our first late night stream, is that you couldn't really see my incredibly cute eyeliner gifted to me by my sis. It's blue. Ooh, 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 I'm so blue. Okay, blue for water. So let's see, for the water signs, Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. What is the best way for us to, I'm a Scorpio sun, what is the best way for us to work with the energy of this new lunar cycle? Okay, that's annoying. Oh wait, I think this is the Two of Cups, yeah? Two of Pentacles, I mean. I feel like this is a wild card, but no, here it is. Yes, yeah, this is the Two of Pence. So in this case, it implies that seasons change, feelings change. So long since I have found you, yet it seems like yesterday. My sense is that you may be feeling like you've woken up into a completely new world. Like things are already different. Like you don't need to wait for the beginning of Taurus season to feel like things have changed. So in this case, it's actually about putting the information that you've learned about yourself in the last, and your self-expression and who you are and why you're here and what you're doing here. It's about putting that information to practical use, right? Putting it to practical use. Oh, cute. Oh my God. Hi, Ricardo, and hi, Brittany. I just missed a question. What about getting coffee with an ex and catching up, or would that be a no-no? In truth, if you're still feeling like getting coffee with an ex, now that Mercury has stationed direct, I would say it's actually a great idea, because you're going to get information and you're going to just get like a new freshie of stuff coming to you. But I would say if you really want to be smart about it, Brittany, wait until after the 19th. Wait until the sun moves into Taurus before you go out with old boy. Okay. Now, so sorry. So back to this. So the idea here for the ether was this, the King of Swords. Whatever you learn as you're looking towards the future now, as we're looking towards this next couple of weeks, you want to try to put it to practical use. So what does that mean? Practical could sound kind of vague. This is not an emotional moment. This is not a moment for great, huge, tremendous changes. This is not also a moment for thinking, dreaming, conceiving, right? This is not about that. This is not about feelings, water. This is not about changes, fire. This is not about thoughts and analysis and thinking, air, right? This is about earth. This is about applying, practical application, taking the information that you've learned and not running all the way home with it. It's not about like setting up a huge ass trajectory. It's actually about taking small practical steps in your everyday life, Two of Pentacles, and kind of, you know, working that stuff into your flow. practically, and like really working it into your flow, not wanting to work it into your flow, not thinking it into your about it, not changing everything all at once to completely reinvent and reimagine yourself, but literally just taking what you've learned from the last couple of weeks and fucking applying it. And then talking to myself here, not complicating it, not feeling deeply about it, not thinking hard about it, not changing everything because it's time to be reborn, actually just taking what you've learned and applying it to something, to one thing, or maybe in this case, to two things. Point is, it's not a 9, it's not a, it's not a major arcana card, it's not a king, it's not a queen, it's not nothing. It's a 2. It's simple, practical, grounded. Okay? Water, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And last but not least, we will call in the earth signs. Earth element. What is the best way for the earth element? Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo to work with this wonderful, lovely, delicious energy of the new moon cycle for the next couple weeks. Okay, so what we actually pull here is the King of Cups reversed. King of Cups reversed. So yes, again, this is for Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. The idea is for the next couple of weeks, the best way for you to work with this energy, for you to work with what you've learned about yourself, the information that you've gleaned about yourself, the information that you're working to fully embody and master. The best way for you to harness that and run with it and roll with it is to come to terms with how you feel about it, right? And actually to acknowledge and chase the uncomfortable feelings about what you've learned. So if you've gotten to the end of this retrograde and to the end of this last lunar cycle, and you are a little uncomfortable, whatever you've learned, right? You actually want to be paying more attention to the stuff that's hard, that feels really intense, that feels heavy, or that feels difficult. Because the idea is here is that that's also a part of who you are. It's almost like the shadow feeling side of this. So don't be afraid to face your shadow. That's also the King of Cups upright says, like, get fucking control of your feelings, get on top of your feelings. And here it says it's like, yes, getting in touch with your feelings, learn to work with and master your feelings, but it's almost like I said already, the feelings that you're not comfortable with, that you're less comfortable with. If it's been a hard few weeks and you feel like a lazy bum, then do something about it, right? Or I have Virgo rising, so what I would say is, like, I've learned a lot about loss in the last few weeks, and how even though I like to think that I'm good at death and dying and transformation and moving through things and being reborn like a Scorpio, I'm very clingy and analytical and punctilious. I think that's the word. And I usually do that because the deep feelings that I have, like, get overwhelming, and so I kind of compensate with poke, 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 poke. So, part of this is actually about allowing yourself to grow through discomfort, as opposed to just feeling like you have to grow into comfort. Allowing yourself to move through discomfort in order to get into comfort. So another way of saying this that's really simple is, it's like, be in charge of your feelings by contacting them, but not actually paying endless amounts of attention to them, right? It's like, chase these dark feelings, chase these shadow emotions, these things that you maybe would rather not feel, and recognize that they do also make you who you are. Another way you could say it is, you could try to work with those feelings until you see the lightness in them, until you see the strength in them. So, example, what I just shared with you, my own struggles with moving through grief without being too analytical or, punctilious, hardcore, annoying. It's like I have tremendous endurance. I can get through fucking anything, even if I'm miserable, because I don't necessarily know I'm miserable because I'm always like overcompensating with specificity. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Any earth signs watching, listening? Anyone? Earth signs watching? Anyone? Earth signs? Cancer? I'm not Cancer. Capricorn? Taurus? Virgo? Yes? No? I guess not. Oh, there she is. Okay. EK, love you. Oh, good. Virgo moon rising. Yes. Okay, great. That's beautiful. So yeah, so okay, perfect. So thank you for telling me. So just because I know you and love you, EK, yes, you look at what you've learned about yourself that you would maybe rather not deal with, right, over the last things that make you feel uncomfortable, because the idea then is that there's real power there. Whatever you've struggled with over the last couple of weeks, whatever has made you feel less than amazing, made you feel uncomfortable, look at it a little harder and work with that. Don't get too into it. You don't need to be grabbing it by the horns or whatever those big floppy ears are that he's got there. You don't have to get too into it, but don't avoid it. Just because it makes you uncomfortable doesn't mean it's not super useful and super powerful and super, juicy and connected. And let's just say, and that's for Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Okay, one more card that we're just going to check in with in terms of what's going to happen, or let's see, what can we expect over the next 3 days as Mercury stations, as Mercury begins its, direct motion. Cute. Okay, great. Three of Pentacles. I like this. This is nice. So my sense with this Three of Pentacles is it's actually just telling us, we're going to get like a little more to chew on. We're going to have a little more in our craw. We're going to have a little more to work with. Things are going to start opening up. It's not a full on like Nine of Pentacles. It's not actually about Sun entering Taurus. I think we're going to get that a little bit more when we get, what happens when we get to Sun in Taurus. Yes, the Empress, l'Impératrice. Oh, she's fierce. Oh my God, I love her. Look at her. She's so juicy and meaty, and she's got the babies inside of her. The babies that we all are. So I love that. So this just tells us, and what's really cool is I used the Nine of Pentacles as a great example for, Taurian abundance, but this is the one. And what's super cool is that this is the Three of Pentacles, and this is Roman numeral 3. So whenever you have a numerical connection in the tarot, there is a deeper connection as well. So this almost, it's like this says to us, we get a preview, right? A pre-launch of the Empress over the next 3 days. Three days and change, which actually puts us right around to the time where she comes in. And again, we had the Two of Pentacles, a lot of low numbers, Two of Pentacles, 2, 5, and then this King. This is the Three of Pentacles. It gives us a chance to work with stuff. It gives us more stuff, Pentacles, Earth, to work with. Pentacles. And then once we enter into Taurus season, I mean, there's such a delicious, juicy flow of abundance. One of my favorite versions of this card actually has the Empress with a river, a waterfall running from between her legs. It's like the water of life, like gushing forth from her hoo-ha. Okay, let me just see. Any other questions for you guys? We're going to wrap this up in just a moment. Any other questions that you may have? Aries, Taurus season. Anything else? Okay, well, I guess we're going to wrap this up then. The last thing I'm just going to share with you is that I'm here in New York until the 29th, and then I'll be back in LA. Oh yes, thank you. Ritual suggestions. you know, since you all, well, it brings me to this moment. This is like the shadowiest live stream we've ever done. I didn't really feel like lighting it. You know, I actually literally let my hair down, and we're in a new moon. So my guidance right now is to actually honor the stillness and the quiet of this new moon. Let's see, is there a number for this? Yeah, it's just 3 times. So it's actually saying it in multiples of 3. We're going to just repeat this again. I pause in silence and welcome new patterns that support and encourage revolutionary self-expression. And I'm seeing something else. Okay, so that's the ritual. It's actually really sweet and really simple. I want you to write this in red ink. There we go, to honor the Aries season. You're going to write this out 3 times. I pause in silence and welcome new patterns that support and encourage revolutionary self-expression. I love it. And you're going to do 3 times 3. So you're going to take 3 separate pieces of paper and write this on it. So what I saw when I said to you I'm seeing something, I saw this rocket ship trajectory of the rocket ship of Aries season shooting off, and the Mercury retrograde kind of making us re-question and reconsider that. So what you're going to do is 3 pieces of paper, write this 3 times. I pause in silence and welcome new patterns that support and encourage revolutionary self-expression. So 3 times on each of those 3 pieces of paper for a total of 9 times. And then I see you either throwing them, right? No, it's burning them. I thought I was throwing them in the air, but it's the end of Aries season. We're approaching the end of Aries season. So you're going to burn them in a bowl, in a burning bowl, right? I use a metal mixing bowl. And then when it's done, put that ash in your hand and blow it up into the air, not out, but up. Okay? I pause in silence and welcome new patterns that support and encourage revolutionary expression. And I would say write it 3 times on each of those 3 things. And then as you light them on fire, read them. So read 3 times, 3 times, 3 times. And each time you read it, light it on fire, light it on fire, light it on fire in that bowl. And then once the ash is there, blow it heavenward and let it go. New moon, new chance to start a new cycle. Look, you can also find wonderful new moon manifestation lists. It's a great time to manifest stuff and talk about things that you want to, work on over the course of the next month. I don't know about you, but I kind of already know what I need to work on. And if I don't, that's what this entire reading was about. It's look back at what you've learned and work with that in the various ways that we described for each of the different elements. So I would actually use this ritual as a chance to sort of zero out the scales, use this moment as a chance to zero out the scales, a chance to clear out whatever's been, stirred up or bound up over the course of the last 3 weeks of Mercury retrograde and almost the whole last month of Aries season. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If any of that is unclear, if you have any questions, please, you can comment here on Insta, on YouTube, you can email me. You can DM me, email info@ediblespirit.com or DM me on Insta. Last piece of news is that on the 21st, I have Aura Picks at Theater for the New City in the East Village, 155 First Avenue between 9th and 10th. We're doing a all-day presentation of Aura Picks from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And I have a few really incredible readers and healers that are with me. If you are a reader, healer, you'd like to come and volunteer at this event, it is all going to charity. We're making donations to hurricane survivors in Puerto Rico and to Theater for the New City, the artists at Theater for the New City. We're doing $20 an aura pick. It's like a 5 to 10 minute reading in which I do a digital portrait of your aura. And then we also have energy healers. One of a really good friend of mine works wonderfully with trauma and healing and releasing trauma, an incredible tarot reader and crystal reader, trying to get a few more people to come through. The last one we did was very regimented. This is going to be a little more free flowy. It's in a big, beautiful theater space. So if you can make it, if you can join us, please, please, please come and join. If you can't, send friends that are in New York. 100% of these proceeds are going to the artists at Theater for the New City and to hurricane survivors in Puerto Rico. So it's all for a good cause. It's super, super fun. It's a big fucking vortex that opens up in that space. There's a giant vortex there anyway, but when we do these healing events there, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty profound. So send your people. 11 to 7 on Saturday, April 21st. Theater for the New City, First Avenue between 9th and 10th. Man, I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to just leave you. It's a little cheesy, but it's a nice way to clear and close. So, happy new moon, and bye, Mercury Retrograde. Love you guys.